We've all been there. You're standing in a museum staring at a painting and all you can think is, I don't get it. To me, knowing the story behind an artwork is a huge part of knowing how to look at it. I'm Amanda, the host of the Art of History podcast, where we view history through the lens of some really great works of art. Each episode, we dive deep into the bigger picture behind some familiar and maybe not so familiar pieces. Check out Art of History now wherever you get your podcasts.
Culture Kids! Thank you for joining us today. My name is Asher, and I am your host along with my mom, Kristen. Hi. Before we begin our episode, we want to say a big happy birthday to Adeline Kim from Brooklyn, New York City. Happy birthday, Adeline! We hope all your wishes come true.
Adeline is turning 5 years old and she wants to visit South Korea someday. We are so excited because we have another special guest joining us today.
Hey!
We have Mrs. Tran, who is the founder and host of Mommy and Me Vietnamese, an educational YouTube channel that teaches children how to speak Vietnamese.
And Vietnam is a country located in Asia. Nice to have you on the show, Mrs. Tran.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophie, also known as Miss Tran from Mommy and Me Vietnamese.
Can you tell us about yourself?
I am a mom to baby Aria, and I grew up in a family that created Vietnamese programs for kids. Awesome! My parents created these programs kind of like Sesame Street or Barney in Vietnamese, and I wish that there was something like that nowadays.
Oh yeah! So you wanted a show for Vietnamese American kids, like kids that speak English but want to learn Vietnamese.
Exactly. Another reason why is I once heard a young kid say that he wished that he knew how to speak Vietnamese so that he can speak with his grandparents and to connect with them.
So we can understand that. Because Asher's grandparents live in Korea and they speak mostly Korean and not too much English. So we try to teach a lot of Korean words to Asher and Arden so they can communicate with their grandparents.
Yeah, I'm still learning and also taking Korean classes for fun. But one day I'll learn to speak many languages so I could talk to lots of different people around the world.
That's a really great goal to have, Asher.
We've never visited Vietnam before, but we hear it's a beautiful country, lots of good food, and nice people. Can you tell us a little bit about Vietnam?
Yes!
Yeah, sure. Vietnam is a very beautiful country. There are 3 regions, the North, Central, and South Vietnam. And 3 regions are very different.
Ooh, so how are they all different? Do they have big cities and mountains too, like we do here?
So in Vietnam, there are many different types of landscapes. If you like more of the city life, then there's beautiful cities and landscapes in Saigon area. Or if you like something more of natural mountains, you can go to Sapa where there's the beautiful terrace rice fields. You can go to the mountains and you can see beautiful streams. And one of my favorite places to go is when you go down to the south city called Can Tho. They have a floating market.
A floating market! Like a market on top of the water and floating?
That's a great question. So you can actually sit on a boat and float around, and you can eat pho, and you can order fruits and everything, and other boats would just float to you, and it's like a drive-through but with boats. So it's really fun, especially for kids.
That's so cool. I would just be on the boat and row around the street and try all of the sweet treats.
Though we've never been to Vietnam, we have visited Thailand. And they had floating markets too. The water was so calm there, and there were lots of markets that were selling not just food, but cool things like bags, clothes, and decorations for the home.
That sounds magical. Yeah. I wish we had floating markets here in America.
I agree.
Me too. So, Mrs. Tran, do you have a favorite place you'd like to visit in Vietnam?
Well, let's see here. One of my favorite places to go was actually Hoi An. It used to be a port and a trading site for a lot of other Asian cultures. Everywhere you go, you'll see beautiful silk lanterns. And at night, people actually go on boats and release candles and lanterns into the river. And it's such a beautiful sight. And that's where you make a wish. And I made a wish actually there, and it came true.
Oh, like how in some parts in the world? Throw a coin and make a wish?
Yeah, similar to that. So, Mrs. Tran, what did you wish for?
And I wished for a baby named Arya, and now I'm holding one right in my lap.
Oh, I love that. Let's go visit and make a wish too.
Yes!
Making a wish on a floating lantern is a traditional practice in many countries in Asia like Thailand, Indonesia, and of course, Vietnam. The practice is a wonderful way to express our gratitude, hopes, and dreams for the future.
That's cool.
Well, if one day we have the opportunity to visit Vietnam, what would be a great time of the year to visit? In our family, we enjoy traveling during the warm or dry seasons.
Let's go! Oh yeah, even though rain is good for the planet, it's hard to be outside when it's raining.
I agree. First of all, it depends on what region you're visiting, but I think generally the best time would be March or April.
Oh, like right now?
Sure. Usually towards the end of summer, like September, October, it's called flood season. And there's a lot of rain, and especially in the central Vietnam area, it usually floods.
So if you like raining seasons, go during the fall.
Exactly. If you ever go, I think that summer, so maybe from spring to summer would be a good time.
Got it. So it won't really snow there. So it won't really get that cold like it did when we lived in New York City. It can be so cold there. My eyeballs felt like it was going to freeze.
So I don't think it will come even close to snowing there ever.
Got it.
We love talking about food because it's always fun to try new foods.
Could you share some of your favorite dishes from Vietnam?
Yeah, so most popular ones that we know of are pho and bánh mì.
Oh, we eat pho all the time.
We really do. Pho is made with a savory broth, rice noodles, and lots of ingredients go on top, like meats, herbs, and vegetables.
Exactly. So pho is a very popular Vietnamese food, and bánh mì means sandwich in Vietnamese.
Ah, that's a sandwich Mommy eats very often too. It's a flavorful sandwich on a crispy baguette with juicy meat loaded with veggies like pickled carrots, cucumbers, and cilantro.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
So I wanted to talk about bánh xèo, which is kind of like a Vietnamese crepe. It's yellow and there's pork
Oink, oink.
and seafood in there and bean sprouts. And you would usually break it off and then wrap it in a piece of lettuce and other vegetables. And then you would dip it into the fish sauce.
Interesting.
Mommy loves wrapping stuff with lettuce. That's how people eat Korean barbecue.
You're right. The idea of wrapping things like meat or veggies over a lettuce wrap is a very common way to eat things in many cuisines and cultures.
It's like wrapping your food in a cozy blanket.
What I've noticed and loved is that Vietnamese food is generally very healthy and light. In our family, we try our best to eat lots of veggies every day.
So the thing about Vietnamese culture or Vietnamese food that I really like is that when you eat it, it's very refreshing. Because like we mentioned, it's very hot in Vietnam. So there's a lot of vegetables and, it's a tropical climate. So that's why Vietnamese people eat a lot of veggies.
Oh, I get it. Because things like cucumbers and carrots are cold and refreshing for a hot summer day.
So, Mrs. Tran, can you teach us a few Vietnamese words that we can use every day?
Sure. So in Vietnamese, hello is very similar to Italian, actually. So in Italian, it's ciao, right? In Vietnamese, it's also jiao, but you gotta go down. The sound that you make goes down, kind of like you are on a slide. Jiao.
Shall we try that?
Jiao. It's so calming and kind.
Jiao. Now, another phrase that you might want to learn, it's saying, I love you to your mom. There is no I or you. It's more like a relative word. But in Vietnamese, you would say, con yêu mẹ. So, con means I as in the child. Yêu means love. And then mẹ means mom. So, in translation, you're actually saying child loves mom. But that's how you would say, I love you to your mom.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so that's very interesting. So to say I love you to your dad or another grown-up, it would sound different.
You would not say that same phrase to your dad because you're specifically saying that to your mom.
Got it, boss.
So let's practice it real quick. Con yêu mẹ.
Con
yêu
mẹ.
Okay, one more time. Con yêu mẹ.
Con yêu mẹ. Thank you. Now we know how to say hello and I love you to your mom in Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And lastly, could you share with us the biggest holiday in Vietnam?
So in the Vietnamese culture, the most important holiday is Lunar New Year, similar to the Korean culture. Streets are lined with shops and stores with people getting ready. The colors are so vibrant. The music is very exciting. I just love this time of year because everyone gets to wear the traditional Vietnamese costume, which is called the áo dài, which means long shirt.
Oh, I've seen Vietnamese traditional outfits and it does look kind of like a long shirt.
Cool. This was so fun to learn.
It sure was. Vietnam sounds like a wonderful country full of beauty, and we can't wait to visit someday. So before we wrap it up, Mrs. Tran, for our listeners that are interested in learning more about the Vietnamese culture and language, could you tell us more about Mommy and Me Vietnamese?
So Mommy and Me Vietnamese covers a lot of topics such as family, what do you call members of your family, baby gestures, and body parts, so knowing what to call your head, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And the last topic that I did was about Vietnamese food.
Oh, yes!
So if you would like to learn more about the Vietnamese language and culture, we actually have 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel.
Wow.
You can search Mommy and Me Vietnamese. Then follow us on Instagram. It's Mommy and Me Vietnamese. And whenever we have a call for submission, we would post it up and you would just send us a video based on the topic. And then you just wait a few weeks and then you surprise your family by showing them that you're a TV star.
Oh, I want to do that.
Choose me!
Well, thank you, Mrs. Tran, for being with us today. It was so much fun learning about the Vietnamese culture.
My favorite part was learning about floating markets. I'm gonna pretend we're traveling through a floating market during bath time.
Yup. Even though it's not always possible to travel somewhere far to a new country or culture we just learned about, we can find our own ways to be adventurous right here at home and use our great big imagination. Like pretending to be in a floating market during bath time. Thank you again, Mrs. Tran.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun sharing about the Vietnamese culture. I hope that you would take this opportunity to get inspired and learn more. And Arya, can you say bye?
Well, we never end our episode without some jokes. Asher, do you have a joke you'd like to share?
Yes, I do.
Go, go, go!
Why did the teddy bear say no to the dessert?
Why?
Because it was stuffed.
Oh, I get it. Like a stuffed teddy bear.
Stuffed with food.
Clever. Okay, my turn. Why did the cookie go to the doctor?
Why?
Because it felt crummy.
Oh, I get it.
Well, that's all we have for today, but we have more episodes coming up with more guests, so stay tuned. And for grown-ups, if you haven't done so yet, please take a minute to leave us a review and let us know what you want to learn about next. Until next time.
Bye-bye.